Yeah, so I think live. Hi, all. I welcome you all to Meshery's weekly development meeting. Today is another Wednesday, and that means we are all back with to discuss all the agenda items that are into this meeting minutes. That's a Google Docs. I'll be going ahead by sharing this link in chat so that you all can write your name in the attendees, and if you want to discuss any issues or pull requests, or if there's any other proposal that you want to, also can mention them. So all of you have started doing that. So Amit, thanks Amit. Yes, we will be covering everything that is around Meshery. So feel free to all those issues. Talking about this, this is a development meeting, and like I said, it's a weekly meeting that happens similar to what other meetings happen around websites and UI. So as a project, Meshery is one of the CNCF project. In fact, in terms of project velocity, it's the ninth fastest growing CNCF project, and it's a cloud native manager, and so it lets you have access to a browser-based environment where you can do all things um, that you will do in a normal, command line tool. So docs and all the resources you will find into this Google Docs header itself. With that, I think it's time for us to get started. We'll be following our tradition, and that is, if you're joining this call for the very first time, go ahead giving your introduction. And I'll quickly confirm if my audio is coming through.
Yep, it's coming through. There are a few people on the call who might want to enter their name into our $1 million raffle at the end of the year. We take names from those that have been in the attendee list, and we pick them out at the end of the year and give away $1 million to the person that has attended, the most, and then only $500,000 to the next, and $250,000 to the third. So just, if you like millions of dollars, you might want to put your name in, is what I'm saying. Good, cool. Oh, look at the names come through. Okay, great. Cool.
Looks like Saurav is joining us for the very first time. So Saurav, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, I would love to. Hello everyone, I am Saurav. Am I audible?
Yep, you are. Please go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Like from past few days, I am just trying to set up this repo locally, but yeah, I found like some issues which I tried to solve, and I got successful while trying to solve them. Mainly the issues which I solved is basically UI part, but I am familiar with Go, so I have also picked the issues which are related to backend as well. Like one issue I have got assigned yesterday, so I am trying to fix it. And I have raised one PR where I think one maintainer have asked me to join the meeting, so maybe we can discuss about it. And by the way, the folks of Messery, like all these maintainers are really nice. Like I never seen any repo which have this sort of maintainers, so really thankful to everyone.
That's just awesome. Quite an intro, Saurav. And yep, it's really great that you are in this call, like introducing yourself and having a PR already. So that's really great. Talking about Golang specific items, we will be making some call for volunteers, including myself. So you can keep your eye out on, for those two. So once again, thank you for your introduction.
Thank you. Can I like tell like which I done in the PR, or can I share screen or any other thing?
Yeah, we will be coming to that a little,
All right, all
in
right.
very few shortly. So, all right. So I think there are more number of newcomers, and so Sai Kiran and Sai Kiran second. If any one of you would like to go next, you can. Or anyone who is new to the call, you can just unmute yourself and give a quick intro.
Yeah, actually, this is my second time joining the call. So, anyways, yeah. So I am Saiken Somangadar. I've been into this project contributing since past month. So right now, I have contributed a couple of issues. So yeah, I'm continuing to contribute and become a part of this community. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your intro, Sai Kiran. It's again nice to have you back. And I think with that, we are done with newcomers. If I missed anyone, make sure that you give your intro in the chat box. So, yep, that's also a way of, um, you know, uh, making yourself familiar with other participants. Okay, so once again, I'll be going ahead by sharing this meeting minutes, the Google Docs link in the chat box, so that you can track all the issues that we are talking about. With that, let's get started. And we have a couple of standing agenda items. For Meshery CTL, the maintainer Matthew is missing on the call, so we'll be skipping this item. I'll be quickly sharing the link. But for UI migration, we have Amit, who will be hopefully taking us through the progress or any help wanted calls.
Yeah, let me share. So for the UI migration, this is a spreadsheet where we track all of the migration that we are doing within the UI, like the MUI migration. We completed migrating to the MUI version 4 to 5 recently. So all of our green and merge. And now we are tracking the migration of the class-based component to the functional-based component. So some of are still using the class-based component. So in the last week, there are some component that was migrated to the functional base, like this Grafana date range and the Grafana matrix compare. And for some of the components like this app and the Grafana components, the PR was raised and it is in the under review. And yeah, there was some component that are not assigned to anyone, like this Meshery adapter play component and the Prometheus component. So anyone who wants to work on this area, they can work. Like we have to just migrate the class base to the functional base, and these are the small components. So yeah, anyone can pick those things. So
Nice. And then, I mean, in order to do that, they can speak up now, or they can mention it in Slack or in Zoom,
yeah,
I suppose.
yeah, they can speak up now or uh, comment here and the tag and the mentioning in the Slack. Yeah, they can do all of the stuff.
Oh, nice. Meet. I wonder if in the in the past we've we certainly try to celebrate people and those who are like being consistent here and those who are trying to help the project. And um, I wonder if you might give thought along with Vivek as to whether or not we might want to send out a tweet about the person that's been the most impactful here, and see if we can't maybe embarrass them at the same time as like celebrate them and their accomplishment. It might be something for us to do. I know we had a spreadsheet previously that was tracking that migration from Material UI v4 to v5, and there was a lot of work done by different folks. We might be able to retroactively celebrate that.
Yeah,
Something to consider. Good deal. And we might have lost Vivek for the moment. Just assuming that we have. Amit, do you want to continue with the next agenda item?
yeah, I will go. Yeah, so now we move towards the topics that we are going to discuss. Like the first is from the Ian about the updating the playwright report, and I think we don't have the Ian, so we might skipping this item.
Yeah, I think you're right. As a matter of fact, I was getting a chuckle there, Amit, for a second, because the way that you say Ian is probably like makes me think about how it is that I probably say like Amit. Like I think like half the time I say Amit and I mean to say Amit or something. Like anyway, it makes me very aware of how I mispronounce names all the time. So anyway, yeah, I think you're right. Ian is it sounds like he sent over regrets. There's one item, if I might interject, as you gave sort of the standing agenda item update on the UI as a significant component to Meshery. Often we'll have Matthew, who's also out today, give an update on Meshery CTL. So maybe I'll try to do this a little bit of justice. Last time we met, just to give an update on where the CLI is as a component, at some point, Meshery as a project and the number of stewards in the community, the number of people who've been here for a while and are comfortable like leading and owning certain aspects of the project. The more of you that there are, the more, well, the smoother that something like this will go. Matthew needs help on the CLI. Actually, we all need help on all of the components, actually. But on the CLI, it's no more in need of help than any other area, really. Matthew just happens not to be here today. That's perfectly fine. Matthew is a maintainer of Meshery CLI. There are at least 2 other Meshery CLI maintainers that come right to mind. So Husaina of VMware and Aditya of Citibank. Now, Aditya was a former intern here, and there's more help needed. There are 2 active, two active commands that are in need of being created, and some of you might be talking about these later on the call. One of them is a command called model, and there's a subcommand that isn't listed right here just yet, I don't think. It's called init, and this other one called build. So we've got this row for build, but not for init. Nikita, you're working on init, if I recall. Do we have an init in here? Oh my goodness, I don't think we do. If you don't, by the way, Nikita, if you don't interrupt me, that means I just keep talking. So.
Okay, yeah, I started to work on it on the init command. That's correct.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good. Where are we? Oh my gosh, I just lost our place. Init. Okay, yeah, init. At some point, Nikita, we'll have to get you write access here so you can do what we are not doing, and that is keeping track of this thing. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the other update then about Meshery CLI is there are a couple of, so Meshery CLI is uses the framework Cobra. And actually, I don't know that Cobra is special to what I'm about to say, which is that there's some amount of automation for how it is that Meshery CLI's commands are published, how they're documented, rather, how the documentation is published for each command. And it is a little bit static at the moment, or it could be more automated. There's an opportunity for those who are into like GitHub workflow and a little bit of Jekyll. Anyway, if that strikes an area of interest for you, come let me know. I'll describe to you how it is that these commands can be more self-documenting than they are. Right now, they still need a little bit of manual help. So anyway, that's something of an update on the CLI. And with that, we're back to, so Amit, you were saying, hey, Ian is out at the moment, but he's been championing our area about end-to-end tests for the UI, and we're using Playwright for that. We do have end-to-end tests for the CLI, and we've just begun to use BATS for that, Bash automated testing system. And so plenty of opportunity for people to jump into either of those two areas. And then actually, the next agenda item is over to Nikita. Nikita, yeah, if you don't mind, you want to talk about model init and
Yeah, I can. So, should I share my screen?
please, that would be great.
No, it's not about modeling it. Like the next item is about like the small bug, I guess, in like environment view, if I'm not mistaken. Just let me share my screen. Share. Okay. What do I share? Am I sharing like a GitHub, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there was. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm probably confused. You might have a couple of items. I'm not sure.
No,
This
yeah, you're right. Model init command. Yeah, I just didn't read it correct. Yeah. I thought there is like a.
Oops,
Okay,
sorry.
so I'm out model init command. So it was also like a small pull request which I created 2 weeks ago with a small bug. Pull request open. This one, like.
Yeah. And
Should we
by the way,
discuss it also, like, or not?
yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead. By the way, I think because I started to share, it might have interrupted your sharing.
Okay. Yeah, let me share to share. Yeah, and now I'm sharing. Yeah, let me jump there. Yeah, so like I opened like last week a small pull request which fixing environment view command. So the issue was like if the issue was that like the param which is org id, it was not actually it was just not mentioned here for a view. Like I added it here. That's like the main stuff, yeah, which I did. And also it was like couple comments from maintainers, so I just also updated some like org id to a different org id.
Oh yeah. Oh man,
I
that's
mean, yeah.
good.
So the main part was this one. Like, I mean, it was just like this line which was missing, so I added it because it was not working properly. There is like these screenshots. I think it was a lot of.
Yeah, this is great. But by the way, that org ID and the capitalization or lowercasing of it has been a pain in the rear end since it was first introduced in the API. It's like it would have been helpful had it just been all lowercase from the start. And so,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think in this document, like which is yeah, in this document it's going in uppercase.
yeah. Very good. I don't. If no one else has comments on this, it looks like we're ready for merge. So that's going to be a win already.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So here, am I waiting for something? Like I think didn't get like can update it. Yeah, I think somebody should approve it. Yeah. So like, could somebody please later go on and approve it, and then I will be able to merge it, I guess. Yeah. Thank you. And so about like the model init command, there is like a task which open and assigned to me. Yep, I started to work on this task, and yeah, I opened a draft PR. Link to it, I think, should be this one. Yeah, I opened the draft PR, but yeah, there is not much functionality for now. So what I did already is scaffolded the skeleton of a command, so kind of just like copy pasted from the existing commands. Like it will be like in this init go, and I added like a test similar to what we have for other commands. And so right now I'm on the stage when I'm going to generate JSON YAML files for model and other components. And for this I will probably for now hardcode like model JSON somewhere nearby, because like it was a discussion in the Slack channel. So it is mentioned here in the ticket description that we should take a model from schema repository. Yeah, that's correct one.
Yeah.
But like in this schema repository, it is going in a JSON schema format. Yeah, so we need to generate actually JSON from this JSON schema component. And how guys pointed me out, there is like in this schema repository we have already compile types, I guess this one, which is actually compiling TypeScript. So we probably can, similar in this like script, we can add a step which will also compile a JSON document itself, which we can then use like in our command. We're doing this because there is no Golang library which can like generate a JSON from JSON schema. That's brief introduction.
That's good. Good. I don't know if we might need a couple of other folks on the call to help with this discussion, but I wonder if, right. It gets it gets confusing even to try to speak to it when you say like, well, here are the JSON schemas, and from there we need to create JSON, and then like, and that's totally accurate. This is probably the hardest part of the whole init command, is like ensuring that that we're dynamically referencing the appropriate JSON schema version, in this case v1 beta 1 for most of the components. I think maybe the relationships component is at more like a v1 alpha 3. Anyway, irrespective, that particular repo, we make versioned releases of those individual JSON schemas. Those releases are imported as Golang packages for use in Meshery CTL and in Meshery server. That said, of what's available, at least, so there's an open API generator, a small utility that's used and run against the JSON schemas that are in the schemas repo. There should then be models, Golang models, and Golang structs that are built and placed into the schemas repo. And then they should be referenceable through an import of the Meshery schemas package. Those might play a role. I'm speaking out of half ignorance here, so I'm just sort of thinking it through aloud.
Yeah, I tried them. Like, there is like this Golang structure which we can like use in CTL, but like in our discussion in Slack, so guys pointed me out that it is better to generate JSON from JSON schema directly and not to use this generated Golang structures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ultimately, the artifact that's produced and sort of handed to the user of the model init command is a JSON document, and it's not to your point, it's not this. In part, I'm repeating some of this for the benefit of the others that are listening to the conversation, because I think some of this stuff you certainly already know, but it's like the end set of artifacts is like 4 or so different JSON documents. In context of Meshery as a project, I will point this out quickly, and I think that this is, as I point this out, this will hopefully be immediately sort of helpful to Nikita and others just in the vernacular that we use as a project. It might be completely confusing or just like noise to some of the rest of us. I hope not. We shall see. One of the Meshery has some core concepts as a piece of software. Some of those core concepts, some of those concepts that are highly curated and sort of fairly well thought through, is a concept like a model, and that's the models contain components. Components contain descriptions of infrastructure that Meshery configures and manages. Great. These are some of Meshery's core concepts. All throughout this process of like articulating what a model is as a generic concept, that would be like defined in a schema, like articulating what a model is as a specific representative of like a specific piece of infrastructure, like Prometheus as a project. So there's a model for Prometheus. Oh, Prometheus has alerts and alert rules and like notification rules, or like has various components, various like alert rules and alerts and other things that we would represent as components, and so on and so on. And as we attempt to sort of, articulate and refer to these different moments in time, if you will, of how these concepts are represented through JSON or YAML, but like how they're represented as we write them down, it gets a little, well, for me, it gets super confusing. And what has been attempted here is, if I can find the doc real fast, is to articulate, is to give us tools to use to refer to these different sort of schemas, definitions, instances, and I forget the other term. Let me find it real fast. Model schema. I'm going to find the link and leave it with you guys to be able to go through. So, maybe I'll have to find it and hand it to you after the fact. So contributing models, as we go to just as a contributor, if you go to understand what a model is, and it's the various ways in which we represent these different constructs, these different entities. This is what I was trying to refer to. You might talk about the JSON schema that represents a particular concept. Might talk about the JSON definition, or a JSON declaration, or a JSON instance. The more that we go to use this terminology, and the more that we refine it, probably the less confusing our conversations will be. But not a lot of people have weighed in and commented on how this makes sense to them or doesn't. And so I encourage you all to read this, see if those examples make sense. But Nikita, that's a great update. It sounds like you're closing in on the command halfway through, I would estimate. Abid, Sophia, did you join the call by chance?
Yeah, I just joined.
Nikita was just giving an update on the model init command progress. And he was just like, for my part, I'm not convinced that part of the way that the project was aiming in terms of like Meshery schemas and how we're producing the output from whenever we package up and bundle a release, is this command. The goal is to have a couple of templated JSON definitions, a model an example model definition, an example connection definition, of the packages that are released from the Meshery schemas repo. Currently, that package, that release, there's an NPM package that's published. There are Golang structs that are built. I wonder if you were one of the individuals that was offering guidance on the ideal approach to generating JSON definitions for model
Yeah,
init.
I think on Slack we are discussing on like I think we were looking into some of the tools that do that automatic generation from JSON schema to the template. So I think we looked into a package that was doing that for us. Like basically it takes the JSON schema and generates a template with the defaults filled in, like whatever defaults we might have set inside the schema, it generates the template with those defaults. Because if we do directly from Golang, it will only create an empty template, but it won't put any defaults. But like Golang structs don't have that information, so it won't provide that. So that's a we need a separate tool for it. But that's the only thing it does. It takes the schema and generates a template from the schema. Basically,
So
the default data.
Yeah, so we can actually take so the most simple is probably approach. We can take these Golang structures and just serialize them, yeah, to JSON and to YAML. That's what I try to do from the very beginning. But yeah, you're right. It will produce like kind of an empty JSON. So like the package which you suggested, like this npm JSON schema default, yeah, it will pick up default values from JSON schema, but the issue here, we almost do not have like default values. It's like very few. Like if you go to if you go right now to JSON schema itself, yeah, if you try to search for default, there's no default values. I think it default only in a component. Yeah, you see there's no default at all in model, but if you go to component, we have like some default. Can you yeah, this is like kind of couple of them. This may be not a good example. Can you go to next default? Yeah, so this one. In that case, if we will use like this npm package, so it will pick up for the fields where default is specified, it will pick up this default value and populate it in JSON data itself. Yeah, or we can go like and separately go to this JSON schema and add default values to most of the fields. Like I don't know.
I think I would like maybe for the ones that a default value might make sense, we might add it inside the schema. And like that's the reason that's why we want to dynamically generate that template. So whenever we will modify the schema in future, because we keep making new versions of the schema, new modification like change stuff, those templates stay in sync. Because otherwise we might be just like write hard code the template for once from the schema and just use that. That's why we want to do is dynamically, and that's why I was suggesting on using that tool because it would just keep everything always in sync, the default values and everything. So we don't need to manually do that. I think the only one issue that's remaining is the how will we packaging it, because like I don't know like if we can package we won't be able to package the JSON files with the Golang package. I think that would be the only thing to know, like how would we packaging the generated templates, or would we like directly using the references from GitHub, like just referring to the file directly from there. Or
I'm
if
not
you
sure,
want
but like in
that.
this schema repository, there's like if you go to the root of this repository, there's like some Golang file. Yeah, in the where in the root of repository, there's like yeah, schema go probably. So this like schema embedded file system, I didn't work with it, but isn't it like kind of some approach how we can use like so a bit like is it solving like what you mentioned that like we will
Yeah,
be
this
able
might be
to
like actually I'm not sure, but this might be embedding the file system, so we might be able to package like non-Golang files directly.
so in that case if we will generate a JSON like inside the schema repository, we
Yeah,
will be then able to okay yeah. Yeah, I will try this. Like it should not be like complicated stuff. So I will go to this like SH file, and we'll use like this JSON schema default to generate a JSON, and then I will check like if I can just like import it normally from Meshery
You might be
CTI.
like, I think one way to look into it is like previously we were packaging some schemas from system, like not from system, from Meshkit. Maybe that's using that. So if you just like check for this file, like this function in other place, how it's used, so you might be able to get how it was used previously.
And you mean like other places using what? Like I didn't get like
Yeah,
because
I
like
was saying like how we were using this like embedded file system and how it's like
okay, got
being
it.
used.
Yeah, how we actually leverage it. Yeah, I will try to check another in repository if it is already done. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Nice, good. Hey, I'll share this. Looks like this is the release, the workflow for bundling up and releasing Meshkit as a package. And so it might, no. Anyway, I'll find the one that bundles up Meshkit and share it. Huh. Actually, maybe I won't. I don't know that we have it. Like the release of Meshkit is,
Actually, like we don't have a like special workflow for like all of these Golang package, because like it's directly the repository itself is the package. So because we don't need to like create a release for Golang packages like npm. It just we need to have the like the repository is directly used as the package index, and then the Golang just like those, it just caches the proxies, the same things. It's the actual thing.
yeah. There is an aspect of this discussion that's worth highlighting a little bit more, and that is that let's say that so hey, for my part, it resonates with me and makes a lot of sense that if you're defining a construct and you have properties inside of it and you list out what the potential values are, that maybe you would do the right thing and have a default for, what might be the default value. And that just generally, makes tons of sense. I wonder if in all cases that works out. In most cases, that should work out really rather well for initializing like a sample model or a sample. Yeah, I guess in most cases it should. Like the values that are suggested right now. Like, so it might be easy to fill in these defaults if the templates that we have suggested currently have proper defaults. So some of the templates that are available to users today, a couple of those are in CSV format. There's in each of those CSV documents or files, the third row in those CSVs is really like an example or the template row. So if you were to create a new component, the default category for a new component might be uncategorized. The subcategory as the default uncategorized. The default shape, circle, as and so to me, those make sense, certainly to list as defaults in the schema, and then to use those to produce to produce the initialized the definitions to do the model init thing. Sometimes the defaults are difficult to understand. Sometimes, for those who have smaller brains like mine, sometimes it's a lot easier when there's like an actual specific example given of an ambassador as a proxy, and the fact that it would be a filter, and the filter would be a cloud native network category, and blah blah blah. Sometimes the generic default is a little hard to digest, but irrespective, it is. I guess I'm just kind of thinking aloud with you all. irrespective is the appropriate thing to do to have defaults for all the values. And most likely those will work. Most likely that's sort of the answer. Okay, anyway. Any other thoughts? Good. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, Nikita, this is great, man. This is good. You're on a roll. Gonna get a PR merge today. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Well, Vinay, I think you're up next. Is Vinay with us today?
But they will not be able to attend.
All right. Next at bat is Saurav. We know Saurav is here. Saurav, do you want to talk about this PR? Maybe share a bit
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Screen is audible in like visual.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Like the
I think some bandwidth issues from your
when
side, Saurabh.
hello,
We are not able
audible?
to. Yeah, please try.
Yeah, I think that network issues. Like when we are hovering over it, like this button is disabled, so it needs to be like not pointer. Instead of it, it need to be uh, stopped, like this icon. So I think this is the issue, and I have fixed it. Is any other thing we have, like, because like in the code, uh, I have changed this. I have changed like this to this. Means like there is no like the data is coming in the form of where not seen any disable stuff. So I just have the conditions so that this sort of things visible to me. Like, but there is one more thing to do, which is this is saying card flip, and I think this is like this is okay. I have changed the condition.
Yeah, so for like having the
Yeah.
disable effect, we want like in the all of the disable button we want that effect, so you have to change it in from the system which from which we are using the button component, so it apply all of the buttons that we are using. So yeah, you have to change in the system.
Like sorry, I didn't get it. Like where I have to change.
Yeah, just see like from where we importing the button component, the button we are importing from system. So in the assistant, we are, if you want to apply any theme and any styling from the any component, so we are applying direct into the system. So you have to change it from the system.
Oh, all right, all right. I will change. I will change. Then I will raise PR.
Just one thing, like the place where you had inverted the condition, like if you share that, because it like, might be wrong because you just have inverted the condition, so it might now break where it actually should have previously worked. So if you'd share that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I had just like because the I think the data is coming from the server. So, but in the UI to show the actual part, I just change it. It's just this part. The not part.
Okay, so like do make sure like how that the get button styles function takes it properly, like whether it wants a true value or false, because if it might be like that function has some logic messed up, that's why the
No,
inverting,
no.
because it should
In
be the same,
it's just
like
I
the
changed
condition
for
should be same for both.
no. I like in the PR I not change the condition. Just I for my viewing the things I change it. Like it will not affect any like production stuff. It for my scene, like I can see the stuff. For that I change it.
Okay, yeah,
Mm,
like done it for local change. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Like if you see in my here in the PR,
Yep,
I'm
yep.
not
So
seeing.
it makes sense. It makes sense that you are doing that for, locally testing it out when you are trying to, see the UI. So that's totally fine. And we'll be taking a look at your PR. Thanks a lot for your update, Saurabh. Do
Or
you have anything else to share or?
yeah, like I was just like I've seen this issue like where the Prometheus component need to be changed to functional component. Can I work on it? Like
Yeah,
uh,
sure, sure. You can comment, and the issue author, they will be there to, help you
all,
out.
all right. Thank you. Thank you.
So thanks a lot. Next up, we have Mercy with us with this Messenger CTL update. Uh, would you like to go next, Mercy?
Mm, can you hear me?
Yep, we
Hello?
can.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
so just hold on. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So this I was working on this issue, this one. Mm, This so and while doing that, I noticed there's something with the I noticed that whenever I restart the server again and then input the same command, it gets duplicated over time. And when I tried doing some reset and catching, it didn't work. So I reported that on Slack, and I think Matthew figured out why that was happening. So I don't know how I'm going to fix it in the same PR with this. Because I don't think I can merge it together with this same PR. What I'm saying is making sense. This is the issue.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't complain about multiple PRs. If it needs to be, if you think it's best to be broken out into something separate. I didn't get the specific need for it to be broken out separately, but I totally believe you. Or like, there's generally not much contention. Like, if that's the crux of your question.
Okay, then I'll try and fix it together with this one then. There's no issue with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just as general guidance, it's the smaller the PR, the less to review, or the faster the review, the lower the risk, kind of a thing. So, that I'm not saying that, hey, you shouldn't include that here. I'm just offering like just general counsel. Like, if it's 1,000 file change PR, it takes a while to review and make it through. If it's 2 lines, it doesn't take that long. But yeah, this is great. So did you guys get figured out why it is that you're seeing duplicates?
Yeah, it's from the UI.
Well, no way, dude. No. How is that possible? Because you're dealing with the CLI. So what do you mean it's from the UI? Now you totally got me confused.
Hold on.
If this is something you would like to talk about in Slack channel, Mercy, with more context as you're going to take a look at it, that would be fine.
Trying to figure out how to stop sharing. Okay.
Oh, I think.
Yeah.
All right, makes sense.
Real quick, just to clarify, Mercy, you said you were able to identify why it is that your duplicates are being retrieved, and that's because did we lose her? Okay. Okay, maybe there won't be a second PR. I don't know. Anyway. Okay.
Yep, Amit, do you mind going next?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, like we are discussing about the schema, and my update was regarding the schema update in the schemas repo. So I created like modified the compile type script, and now that script is generating the schemas object into the TypeScript file. So from that, now we can get the whole schema as a JSON in the TypeScript. And yeah, so like this will resolve the ref as well. And we can use this uh, this schemas object into the any UI, and from that we can access all of this property. And yeah, there is one demo like how we are going to use it, like from the layer 5 schemas package. This is the npm package that we can use for the UI, and we can directly import the schema, like the model schema, component schema, and whatever we want from that schema, we can directly use that field. So we don't need more hard coded stuff, and we can directly get it that data from the schemas repo. So yeah, this is how we can use it.
Good. Amit, I missed it. Did you say that there's a utility being used to wrap up the schemas inside the same package, or that there was just additional script written?
Yeah, so there is additional script, and we are already using this the node script that we have, like that use the some library that resolve the ref. So yeah, we use that already existing our node.js script that we use for the uh, generating the YAML files in the schemas repo.
Gotcha. So overall, it was a relatively small amount of additional logic added to the script that was in place. And then the rest of the changes in the PR are mostly the new, is what is produced from the
Yeah.
script.
Yeah. Yeah. That also.
Anybody else have feedback on this? This is certainly relevant to the discussion with Nikita, and it's sort of this is the solution for JavaScript as versus, for Golang.
You are generating here like a TypeScript DTO, yeah, from JSON schema.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think this was code already in place. Is it like adding something new? Like, I mean, it was a code which like was generating TypeScript something from schema already, no?
Yeah. So
Yeah, Nikita, like we already had the script was previously like generating the types, but in this we are like Amit is also packaging the whole schema, so we might be able to directly consume the actual JSON schema, not just the types. Because we like render some forms and like use the actual detail from the schema itself in places in UI. So that's why he's just like actually like this PR is mostly about just bundling the actual schema again. Kind of the same thing that the embedded file system does for the Golang side. So here we are just actually bundling the JSON files just as TypeScript objects.
Okay. Okay, I got it. You mean like, yeah, so you have this code schema equal, and this is generated, yeah, from,
Yeah. This
got
is
it, got
like
it.
copying
Got
the
it, got it.
JSON file and just exporting it now.
Cool, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Next up, we have some update from Falgun. So, do we have Falgun on call?
Yes, yes. I will tell you next time. So the first update is about this Grafana metrics and compare component refactoring. Uh, like I have converted this component into a function component from class component, and uh, it is like it was reviewed an hour ago by Amit and was closed, and there were like not very major changes in these components, but in this component, as it was not a like very big component to change. So might be the easier and easy. Also, I updated this Grafana date change picker to a functional component. So
So one thing,
this will
Falcon, like,
do.
are you able to test these changes? Like, are you testing it against
Uh,
like actual Grafana connection to know like everything is working properly?
so I'm working on Grafana components right now. But since I need some help with backend also because like one or two APIs are not working. So I was like connecting with Kapil Yambani for help, and looks like he was busy in the last week or he was not able to work. So
So right now, like
after
for the components that you have migrated, how you are testing like everything is working properly?
So the date range picker was like when I tried connecting Grafana, I was able to, but some parts like Grafana charts were not like exactly visible. But the date range picker was like we can use it and it like behaves like uh, it is it was behaving as expected. I was able to use it.
Okay, so you are able to like test it.
Yes,
And
yes.
but like try to like because I think we are also making some other change to this Grafana stuff and like just try to like set up a local Grafana connection and then see like how it, because it might like behave differently when there is actual data coming up rather
Uh,
than just inside the.
Yes, actually, like I tried setting up the Grafana connection. I was like creating a simple kind cluster. It was a default kind cluster and a Grafana connection. And it was not inside the cluster. It was like a, a connection, like a simple connection of Grafana locally. And I tried connecting it. I was successful in connecting it. I was able to view some like the entities of the Grafana, like the charts I have created. But there was some issue in like post request that I like discussed with Kapil, and we'll be resolving it soon.
Okay, would like yeah, test it like if you test it against an actual data. So yeah.
Okay. Also, like Amit helped me review this Meshery app component, but I think I have like made too much changes to this one, and therefore he advised me to like make minimal changes for because we first need to convert it into a functional component, and then we might make further changes or refinements as necessary. So I'll be doing so. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah,
Thank you,
like
Amit.
me separate PRs for these because otherwise it's hard to revert in case there is some issue.
Yes, that's all from my side. Thank you.
So thank you, Falcon. Looks like we are right on time. And so I thank you all for joining the call and sharing your updates. Couple of updates we were not able to cover, and so we will be discussing them on priority in the next dev meeting that will be held at the same time next Wednesday. But for today, before we end the call, I'll be quickly sharing this calendar link so that all the other meetings you can be a part of them. And yep, we do have a CI/CD meeting tomorrow, and also consider the daylight saving time if you are affected by it. These meetings will be happening hour earlier than they used to be. So, but you don't have to worry about that if you subscribe to the calendar. So that link is in chat, and I'll see you all next Wednesday. Till then, bye everyone.
Thanks, Vivek. See you guys.